The latest development of Ukrainian fiber-optic drones is widely discussed. Ukrainian forces have begun using new drones in the war against Russia, which are virtually impossible to destroy. The innovation from the Ukrainian brigade, Birds of Magyara, has shown successful results. In this video, Ukrainian intelligence has spotted a Russian tank, and now it is being attacked by a Ukrainian drone. Later, I will explain how this drone works and show you its real operational results. Now, we can turn our attention to the image quality. The video is transmitted clearly and without errors. A Russian tank is firing at Ukrainian positions from an ambush, hoping that electronic warfare will not allow the drone to get close to the tank, but they are wrong. This is not a problem for the latest fiber-optic drones, and it successfully attacks the tank. Now you can see the picture from the external drone. A Russian tank fires a shot, and then a Ukrainian fiber-optic drone hits it, and the tank explodes. A very good hit. The Russian military is trying to extinguish the tank, but as we can see, their attempts are unsuccessful. With the help of the second drone, also on fiber optics, you can fully see the entire situation with the tank. Even though Russian electronic warfare is working, the Ukrainian drone does not care. It can even see the small print on the tank's barrel. And then the same drone also attacks the tank. The drone is designed in such a way that the wire is wound on a coil that is attached to the drone itself. In flight, the wire is unwound, and the drone can easily reach the target. Here, the Ukrainians are already repelling the assault with conventional FPV drones. As you can see, additional noise appears on the screen, which also affects the drone's control. Although the effectiveness of such drones is also very high, and they are the main driving force behind this war. With one hit, such a drone can easily destroy a heavy armored tank. And here is a large video report of the Ukrainian military unit, Birds of Magyara, on the destruction of Russian equipment in November. These videos are proof that Ukraine continues to fight and destroy the Russian occupiers. Despite the difficulties encountered on the contact line, Ukraine is fighting. The struggle for survival continues. The destruction of every Russian tank or armored personnel carrier means saved lives of Ukrainian civilians and military. The Russian military tried to break through the Ukrainian defense with heavy armored vehicles. Scout drone detects the best targets and transmits coordinates. The Ukrainian military began to meet the invaders with FPV kamikaze drones. Accurate hits by kamikaze drones immobilize infantry fighting vehicles, and Russian assault groups are forced to abandon their armored vehicles and flee to the forest. Armored vehicles that can still be used and on which the occupiers tried to escape are being destroyed by kamikaze drone operators. After the destruction of the abandoned equipment, the Ukrainian military began to attack the Russian occupiers, who were moving in infantry fighting vehicles. Russian occupants tried to escape from Ukrainian drones, even on already burning armored personnel carriers. All Russian armored vehicles were attacked and destroyed by Ukrainian kamikaze drones. After the Russian equipment burned down, Ukrainians began to hunt for Russians hiding in the forest. To do this, they raised several drones with rifles and attacked the Russians, as well as used FPV drones. The Russian offensive was successfully stopped. Russian armored vehicles and occupants were destroyed. The job was done perfectly. A Russian armored personnel carrier with an assault team hits a mine, but despite the complete destruction of the vehicle, 6 Russian soldiers managed to escape. The Ukrainian military uses FPV kamikaze drones to completely destroy the occupiers. 3 Russian soldiers try to hide behind trees, but this does not help them either. Another assault group also hit 2 mines. A large convoy of Russian heavy equipment was on its way to storm Ukrainian positions, but after hitting mines, they began to change their route. Ukrainian FPV kamikaze drone operators used the opportunity to start destroying Russian equipment and occupiers. Russians tried to shoot down a drone with an assault rifle, but failed. Russian soldiers hiding between the trees were attacked by drone shells. The Ukrainian attack drone Lelika 100 was also used to carry out devastating attacks. As well as a kamikaze drone attack on armored vehicles with Russian infantry. Successful elimination of a Russian assault group. And another armored personnel carrier that the Russian occupiers left in the forest belt. FPV drone collision with an armored vehicle. And the hunt for Russian armored fighting vehicles. And this is the Siversky direction. Ukrainian aerial reconnaissance discovered several units of Russian heavy armored vehicles. Kamikaze drone operators immediately set about destroying the occupiers. This armored personnel carrier was landing Russian troops, and at the same time, a Ukrainian drone began dropping bombs right next to the occupiers. Russian militants and their equipment were successfully destroyed. The Russian armored personnel carrier brought the assault group and immediately came under attack by a Ukrainian kamikaze drone. The first strike was very powerful. You can see pieces of metal flying off the armored vehicle. Another drone hit the hatch of an armored personnel carrier and completely destroyed it. Ukrainian town of Kurakov. Ukrainian armed forces destroy Russian drone hub. Russian T-80 tank. They also started hunting for Russian soldiers. Targeted attack on Russian heavy armored vehicles. And now you can see how a stupid situation happened to the Russians. A Russian tank was traveling down the road and overturned into a ditch. The Ukrainian operator of the kamikaze drone seized the moment, made 2 targeted strikes, and neutralized the tank. And here is another Russian multi-purpose towing vehicle, light-armored MTLB. After the first hit, the Russian soldiers abandoned the vehicle and began to flee. The Ukrainian drone operator decided to destroy the equipment to the end and struck a decisive blow. A Ukrainian reconnaissance drone spots 2 occupiers looking for a place to hide. They find an old basement. Unaware that they are being followed, they hide there. This is a tempting target for the Ukrainian drone, and it heads there. After the strike, the building collapses, but the Russian soldiers manage to survive. They flee to an old house, but even there, they are attacked by Ukrainian drones. The first hit was not very successful. Then the drone operator delivers another blow, which becomes the last one. He destroys and burns the house with the occupiers. Here, the Russian occupiers in a T-80 tank hit a mine and damaged the track. After that, a Ukrainian drone hit the tank's hatch directly. This caused an explosive reaction. The tank caught fire and turned into hot scrap metal. Another Russian T-80 tank was abandoned by the Russians. Ukrainian drone operators are destroying it to prevent the occupiers from using it again. Here, the Ukrainian military hunted for the logistics of Russian soldiers. Detected Russian armored personnel carrier immediately comes under Ukrainian attack. The target was destroyed and burned. Another Russian truck attacked by a kamikaze drone. The Ukrainian military also attacked the Russian occupiers on their way to rotation. One armored vehicle was successfully attacked. Other occupants tried to escape, but in vain, the armored vehicle was destroyed. And 2 more successful hits on Russian armored personnel carriers with infantry. During their offensive attempts, Russian occupants often hit Ukrainian mines. Roads and fields mined by Ukrainians become an unexpected surprise for Russian assault groups and heavy artillery. Russian armored vehicle with infantry hits a mine and loses control of the vehicle. 2 more Russian armored personnel carriers run into minefields, then catch fire and burn completely. A Russian self-propelled artillery unit hits a mine, explodes, and then starts burning. Three Russian armored personnel carriers traveling along the same road where their other brigades recently exploded also hit mines. Russian light armored vehicle hits 2 mines at once and detonates. A Ukrainian kamikaze drone is chasing a new Russian T-90M tank, an MTLB multi-purpose towing vehicle light armored. Target successfully neutralized. Thank you, friends. Subscribe to the channel to stay up to date with the latest developments. This video is based on the materials of Hustler. See you soon.